My name is Kimo Treadway, and this is my final speech for Effective Communication, COM 102 1B. In my speech, I'm going to talk about if social media is contributing to more violence. Social media has always had a place in our lives. Television and movies were the prominent means of seeing what was going on in the country or the world. Today, social media comes in many forms such as Facebook, Instagram, and even video games. Another fact is that with today's technology, news and events can be seen or heard simultaneously as it unfolds. In the past, we may not have known that something was going on until days later. With instant media, violence has become controversial in the terms of affecting people, with children being at the forefront, and if social media is contributing to more violence today. From bullying of children through Facebook to violent video games, the question is social media contributing to more violence? Social media has risen dramatically over the last 20 years. Television now runs 24 hours a day, and you almost have thousands of channels to choose from in which you want to watch. Movies can be watched through various outlets, streaming videos through Netflix or Hulu, and you can watch those movies at any time you wish. Video games are much more interactive than they used to be before, much different than the old Pong. They also include an instant feedback system, so as you're playing the game, you can actually speak with other players and communicate throughout the time that you're playing the game. But, however, violence in those video games is on display much more than it used to be, and those include varying degrees of violence, which may be deemed as ideas for today's youth. News today is filled with violent acts such as the multiple school shootings and other unfortunate public shootings. These domestic acts of violence are displayed through multiple social media outlets and can be streamed real time. Foreign acts of violence are also on the rise and can be seen in real time as well. Movies and television sometimes depict current acts of violence. Despite movies and most television programs claim to be fictional, some plots or scripts lean more towards the non-fictional side of the line. However, writers, for the sake of ratings and viewer retention, come up with new ideas of violence, and I wonder if people can misconstrue those ideas for consideration of acts to try. Online media, or sometimes called instant media, consists of more than just Facebook and Instagram. There's also Twitter, LinkedIn, and Snapchat, to name a few. Facebook has been in the spotlight, with children bullying other children through hurtful posts and also through videos. Verbal abuse and fighting through phone videos can be seen by many others and leads back to the question of, are these videos giving others ideas to commit? Instagram may not be in the limelight as much as Facebook, but it still offers an outlet to post pictures and videos of violent acts. However, slandering other person's image seems to be more prominent on Instagram, as it is more picture or video heavy versus a literary means. As I mentioned earlier, video games have changed tremendously over the years. Video games are much more realistic and sometimes include real actors in the games. Games such as Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty depict a lot of violence in ways such as murder and stealing. Players perform these violent acts over and over and are rewarded in the game. Reward systems in such games give players higher rankings and potentially new weapons to try for committing violent acts. Typically, children and teenagers play these games. Not to say that adults don't play them as well, but typically it's younger people. With the youth having an impressionable mind, do these games contribute to having violent tendencies? Being able to communicate in the game with other players, does that communication escalate to anger if a player does not excel at killing other players? All forms of social media depict more violence. Doesn't matter if it's television, movies, online media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even video games. But with more and more new platforms to share media, we can see what is going on around us domestically and internationally in real time. However, if we didn't have social media, Would you have known that in the past 7 years, there has been an additional 200 school shootings? If you didn't know that fact, you do now, only because through social media, probably you're watching my YouTube channel. I shared it with you through a social media outlet, so ask yourself this. Now that you know that fact, do you think there is more violence? Is violence more today, or is it because we can see more today? If you do think there is more violence, then my hypothesis has been proven. Social media is contributing to more violence. So remember I said that social media was contributing to more violence, not that there is more violence. I do believe social media is contributing to more violence because it is a means of sharing violent acts and information. Social media is not the problem though. Educating children and others about what is right and wrong and how to socialize with other people will lead those people to being able to cope and deal with situations outside their norm. Until that starts to happen, the end is not in sight, and the problems can only get worse if we don't try and make it better. Thank you for listening to my presentation. References can be found on the last page of the PowerPoint. Thank you so much and have a great day.